All right, folks, welcome in. Thank you for joining in this segment of Science with Schmidt. Today's date is Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. Today, we're going to start off this episode by taking a look at, guess what? The Parade of Planets. Parade of Planets begins, it's already actually begun. You can actually see it now, tonight, if you wanted to, through early parts of next week. But the peak time for most of the planets to be visible to us is going to be Friday night. The Planet Parade is a grand alignment on Friday night. We'll have Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury, all visible with the naked eye. You'll need a telescope to see Uranus and Neptune. Binoculars work just as well. Then we'll also need some special equipment for Saturn. A telescope or binoculars needed for that one too. Saturn will be a little tricky. It'll be low on the horizon, and it'll be closer to the sun from our viewing point, so may not be as easily seen for folks there. All right, something else that's happened over the weekend was we had some ice rescues for you. And before we got to rescues, though, we're going to give a shout-out to the Cooper County Fire Protection District. They did some practice on the ice earlier this year in January, practicing their skills for ice rescues. And good thing they did that, because they found themselves on thin ice earlier this week on Monday. But they got in some practice, and they needed it. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at what they've got on their Facebook page here. And it's a video of them rescuing a dog out of a pond that had frozen over. This is up in Boonville, Missouri, up near I-70, kind of close to Columbia, Missouri. Cooper County Fire Protection District, they did rescue a 136-pound Mastiff from a frozen over pond. So very, very heavy. Good for them. Good thing they got that practice in. We'll notice this too, that the dog was still able to get out on the ice. Okay, we had a couple days of freezing. The ice had lost some structure, not as firm as it may have been from last week. All right, and a lot of the ice is gone on the water now, but the fine leftover ice on a pond do not cross over that ice. All right, so here's a picture of the dog that they rescued. 136 pounds, Mastiff. And the Cooper County Fire Protection District says that they have now rescued 2 dogs and 1 calf from iced ponds so far this week alone. It's very busy for them. All right, moving right along. It's getting warmer for us. Okay, we did talk about that. And part of that is spring leaves starting to transition across the area. Right now, the spring leaf index shows, yes, we have some leaves. The spring starting to show up the first signs of that on the Gulf Coast and also across parts of central Arkansas. And the Gulf Coast, though, notice this, is a good 10 to 15 days behind where they should be of the normal fall schedule, normal spring schedule for leaves to start popping out. We're starting to see some leaf coverage though pop out along the Gulf Coast and of course down in Florida and South Texas. Here in Arkansas, a little farther northward, and parts of southern Oklahoma, we're seeing some leaves starting to pop out, but we're a good 5 to 10 days early this year on the spring leaf index. And if you compare this to years past, you can see that in the green, we're early by a couple days, and we typically see our leaves start to spring out this early about every 1 to 4 years. So pretty common. However, on the Gulf Coast, they are good in 10 to 15 days behind schedule for their spring leaf index. And that only happens about once a decade. So remember, we've had a couple rounds of cold air this year so far. And what that's done is slowed down the spring leaf index, how fast leaves pop out and leaves occur down along the Gulf Coast compared to normal. It's still a little behind schedule, but spring's right on the corner, folks. Yesterday we got to the middle 70s, Springfield 75 degrees, 77 in Harrison. Taking a look at the country this morning, satellite and radar, things are quiet and calm. Nothing really going on from coast to coast. Things are all looking good there. There is one storm system going through the Great Lakes right now. Some rain showers across Missouri and Arkansas a little bit and up towards Illinois, okay? We're looking at some clouds out there, yeah, here and there. and that cold front is moving through. You can see that rain line getting out of Kansas into western Missouri. That is where the cold front is. You can turn on visible satellite. You can see that defined, sharp line of clouds extending out of Missouri into Kansas, into northern Oklahoma. That is your cold front. It's not going to get cold. There's no cold air following that front, but it will be a round of showers and some cloud cover as the front comes through. We're going to be in the middle 60s today after yesterday's 70s. We'll be down to the middle 60s this afternoon. 70 degrees today in northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. We are keeping an eye on a couple weak storm systems going to the north, across the Great Lakes. The next one comes in on Saturday. That one will actually cool us down a little bit. More seasonal weather in the 50s for Saturday into Sunday, with a freeze coming Saturday night into Sunday morning. We return back to the 60s, even some 70s for early next week. Instability tries to climb back in. We're especially watching Tuesday with a storm chance coming in for Tuesday as we're looking at this deeper system to make its way in. There'll be a risk of strong to severe weather on Tuesday as well as we go into Tuesday into Wednesday, especially across Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. Looking at a risk of severe weather on Tuesday. The jet stream's overhead. You'll get some instability, too, with some Gulf moisture being pulled up from the south as well. Here in Missouri, we'll see a couple thunderstorms, possible severe. We'll be on the northern nose of that severe weather risk. That is still kind of up in the air for us. All right. As we're going to start doing here, we're going to start wrapping up. And as we do, we're going to take a look at the picture of the day. And so this picture of the day was sent in by Christy Ross for us. And Christy lives up in central Missouri, and she snapped this picture of a bald eagle up in Lincoln, Missouri. Now she lives near the Truman Lake Reservoir in central Missouri. And so that's a real popular spot to see some bald eagles. And she's sent in a couple pictures of bald eagles to us in the past over the years. And great photos. Love hearing from Christy. And we'd love to see her pictures too. We'll show them here on Picture of the Day. Well, that'll wrap up here for this Science with Schmidt segment. Again, thank you for tuning in. Join us every morning during the weekday for this segment of Science with Schmidt. We'll dive into some science, take a look at some weather headlines, and show off some of your pictures. Wednesday looks good. The rest of the month of February looks fantastic. Find ways to enjoy it. Happy Wednesday.